This is the spiritual reading for the week of April 15th, 2018. Uh, there has been quite a bit of stir up in the spirits and things like that this week. I'm not sure exactly why, only because the full moon's not going to happen for a little bit. But I think in general, it's just the earth is tired. It really is. So I'm just going to jump into the weekly reading real quick. There's a few around. There's a gentleman here who was eaten by a shark. And I find it fascinating. I have never really experienced anybody who was eaten by a shark. So he's not from around here, so this is a perfect example of what I mean by when I tell clients that just because a spirit is here and has a message, if the person's not around to receive it, it doesn't really matter. It's not your responsibility to provide this information to them. But by me speaking it to the world, or into this world, so to speak, the person will eventually hear it. So I don't believe anybody who's going to watch this video anytime soon is going to know who this is, because I feel like this gentleman is from California and actually was eaten by the shark in California. He was a surfer. Smaller guy. His name was Chad. Last name starts with a G. And he truly was swallowed up by a shark. We hear about shark attacks, and they grab limbs, they grab arms, that kind of thing. But because of the size of this gentleman, he was basically my height, so he was like 5 foot tall. And the way that the shark got him, it literally got him like the scary Jaws movie kind of thing. So it came up from underneath and just kind of really chopped a hold of him. And I, his body never was fully recovered. Unfortunately, pieces were, but his body never fully was recovered. And the reason that he wants to talk today is he's providing a warning down the Jersey shoreline in the upcoming months as more and more people flock to the shoreline. There is some risk of some sharks over the next month or two. I want to say more towards until the end of June, beginning of July. Apparently there is a migration of some fairly large sharks. And not that sharks are out to just attack us. That's not what they're really there for. But we are mistaken identities. In the end, they are a wild fish, with a carnivore fish. So they see us as something we're not. And when that happens, we get bit. We have these tragedies out there in the world. So he just wants everybody that he can tell to be safe, especially over the next few months, specifically near the Jersey shoreline. So keep your eye out if you go to the shore. Look at the warnings, that are out there when you go to plan and do things, and just stay observant is what he wants you to make sure that you're doing. Okay. So Walter B., your grandfather wants you to know that it's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel these feelings that you're feeling about life and family and everything in general, because you're human, you're a person, and we're allowed to feel these things. But too often we don't feel them, because if we feel them, then we might react and do something or say something we may not be happy with. But you still need to feel them. You still need to get them out. So he wants you to know that it's okay to take that time to let it out. And if you need to go somewhere else or be by yourself to do so, do it. Get that energy out of you. And, you know, this is good for everybody, regardless of who's given the message, because we hold on to our frustrations, our anger, our sadness, because we have to suck it up. You know, we have to suck it up to move through life in general. But the problem with that is we're not really sucking it up. We're sucking it in. And when we take this energy into ourselves, we don't let it out. And then we have additional stress, we have aches, we have pains, we have a lot of things that then affect us. So everyone needs to do that. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to tell you, this is a little bit of a Mayo video in addition to spiritual. What you want to do is, if you're angry, scream it out. You know, obviously you can't necessarily do it to somebody in front of you, but scream it out. Go in your car, turn the radio up really loud when you're driving somewhere, and just scream at the top of your lungs. Get that anger out of you. That even works for frustration, sadness. Watch a movie that you know will make you cry, and just let the tears out, because even if it's the movie that's letting you cry, all that emotion is still up in there, and you just need somebody to turn on the faucet, so to speak. So if the movie does it, let the movie do it for you. You know, there's no shame in what we feel, because we feel because we're people, and we feel because we need to feel. That's who we are. So no shame in that, but yet we put the shame on it. We put the stigmatism out there about it. So that's the general message. You know, I'm going to just do that because I know there's a couple other spirits here that want to say something. And then, so let's jump to the next one. So Carly K, your grandmother, Mary, wants you to know that life is going to balance out. You're being affected this month because of just general emotions that are hitting you. You've had a lot of sadness in the month of April. A lot of people you care about is no longer here or has gotten hurt in April, and you internalize April as a bad month. Just keep your head up, and once April's over, you'll start to feel better in general. But you can do the other techniques to help yourself, you know, feel better sooner. But in the end, you're still going to feel what you feel. It's just the way that it is. I wouldn't normally do this at all. However, my son's here, and yeah, it's nice. He just interrupted and said that, see, tears, it's good. That he was proud of me. And that he loves me. And I apologize for interrupting this session, even though he's telling me not to apologize. You would think that I could talk to him all the time, but I can't, obviously. I have to function in the day, as we all do, and talking to the other side takes, you know, a channel, so to speak, and it's not always on. It's just so I can do everything else that I have to do in the day. But anyway, yeah, so you guys got to hear all that. Until next week.